Droneshare by 3D Robotics is really getting killer nowadays. They're starting to get the bugs worked out and everything seems to be going well. Lots of features that really enhance your experience. No need to add even a milligram of weight with a Flytrex or any other type of tracking. It's all built into the autopilot. Let's look at some of the features. On my flame wheel, I had performed a mission where I looked at the analysis of the mission, which is great. This one was where I did an auto tune, and the auto tune is represented here. GPS was marked as bad because I only had 4 satellites locked up, and I'm supposed to have 8. Minimum of 6, I'm sorry. I might turn on the bit mask for more logging and see what other parameters it checks and can complain about. For instance, on on the flame wheel on a previous flight. Let's just check one. Maybe this one will have a battery fail-safe in it. Let's see what it says. Yep, shows that one had a battery fail-safe. That's not particularly a problem. It seems if you're not auto-tuning during a mission, then you always get this warning, no auto-tune log data, which that's no big deal. Got a warning on that one. Vibration slightly high. I didn't really get that on many of the others. I'm not sure what I was doing on that one that caused that, but I'll be looking into this deeper as things are added and bugs are removed. I still don't have the plotting working, but I'll show that later. Let's see. This one was very interesting for one of the new functions. Go ahead and do a satellite here. And that one was a 12-minute, 29-second flight. 723 meters, max speed, 14.9 meters per second. You see the plot function doesn't work yet. It's okay. The analyze, if we look at that one, I was horsing it around that day, but I'm not fail-safing on the battery anymore. And that one's good vibration values, even though I was really horsing that one around. This right here is another one. No mag data for the magnetic interference for the compass. That's why I'm going to turn the bit mask on and do a flight and see what full saving might do to that. You can look at the perimeters as they're set up in the vehicle. Detected perimeters that are outside the norm, and if you go through or potential problems, you can go through all the perimeters for the setup of the platform and look for the ones in red and see if you need to make some changes. La-dee-dee. Don't see any in red yet. Oh, there you go. This is a perimeter for the maximum thrust of the motors. I haven't really worked with that one much. I have to work with that one in the future for some more advanced tuning and trimming. And this is the same thing. This was before I had performed the auto tune and got my PIDs all in a row. So those are pretty normal for not having performed those particular functions. It's really nice when you can go through here and see that every parameter is within the norms, and they don't mark them with warnings or any such. You can also download a log, download a new KML. The KML will be marked with these symbols for mode that it was in. I'm not sure that the normal KML file that the autopilot generates normally is any better. I'll come back and we'll compare these two in another one. And you can download the parameters from somebody's flight. That lets you load their parameters into your autopilot. I'm not too sure about that one because it's all the parameters, not just a few. I think I would rather just look at the parameters as they have them set rather than bulk loading their parameters into my platform. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to reset up here, and we're going to look at the movie function, which is really great, huh? So I've been playing with the movie function, and it is just killer too. This was the flight where I was horsing it around after I had reset it up and wanted to stress test a little bit. I'm going to slow this down to ×4. That'll give us a 3-minute. And I'm going to show you what this does. This is pretty killer. So we'll go ahead and start the movie. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on it. Here it has your maxims and stuff. And this is that flight. If any of you remember, that was the one where during drift mode I got out over the trees and got scared and brought it back. Lots of different things can be controlled on this. That was one of those hard zooms up. See how it would react, and later read the logs to see how the voltage and current had reacted to that, whether I had a voltage sag, which I did not with the new high discharge batteries. More expensive, but well worth it. Oh, there was another one. Having a little trouble keeping up with it at this zoom. Let me zoom back out just a touch. And I'm also going to rotate it around here. If anybody remembers, I also had these where I zoomed forward and zoomed backwards to measure the speed of loiter mode, stabilized mode, etc., back and forth. You can see I had a max of 44.6 kilometers per hour, roughly 30 miles an hour. There's another one. That one was in stabilized mode. I also added some throttle. This is coming up on the drift. Let me roll this back around. There we go. There's where it sort of went out over the trees there, and I decided to bring it back. Just really, really unbelievable documentation of your flight versus other documentation systems for sharing your flight. I'm just tickled to death with this. And another. Let's go high. High and fast. Well, kill this. Not needed. Various function over here. You control how long the trail stays. A theme. You can change maps. This line shows your altitude as you go. Can't say enough about this. It's just really, really killer. So let's look at another one here. This was the mission I did that was a simulated search and rescue grid that you can set up in the platform. The platform would then fly this search and rescue. Could be a survey, could be a three-dimensional geotagging of ground, all sorts of things. I'm probably going to use it for search and rescue more than anything else. Look at the analysis real quick on this one. Everything seems to be good. No auto tune because it wasn't on auto tune. Vibration, good vibration values. Platform's really, really nice. This is also, Justin, how you might set up an airplane, not a quad, hexy, octa, any vertical, because you can see this is basically a 6-acre field. And in the full battery run, I just barely got to look at the field. You're going to have a long flying platform like an airplane to do the surveys of cornfields for agricultural purposes. So let's look at the movie on this one. Those who follow my videos will remember this one. Let's slow this down to, let's just go with 8 times. We'll go ahead and start the movie, and then you'll notice this was my first one, and if you remember, I got down to this first waypoint and got scared. See, it kind of bobbled around there. So I came back with a return to launch and landed. Then my second attempt, you can see there where the platform went too low in altitude, so I went back into stabilized mode, brought it back to return to launch. And here we can see the third one that functioned properly. And that autopilot continues to save values and make changes to itself and becomes more and more precise. But you see, this really shows your flights better than a lot of other platforms, and it's built in. It's just really, really killer. There we go. That one was finished and landed. And then after that I did that little throttle midpoint test where the platform again went up on me. Let's see if I can do a quick demonstration of the difference in KML files. So this would be using the straight KMZ file out of the autopilot that it generates. I've shown this one a lot, where you can come in and I did a lot of stuff on that one. And you can come in and look at everything that was done on an individual basis, or you can look at the whole thing. There's no movie for this one, You can select all of them. You can rotate it around and stuff. Oops, looks like I have the planes turned on. Not meaning airplanes, meaning the plane, current plane of the platform. Right, left, forward, rear. Now that's the way that one looks when you use the straight out of the autopilot. Let's look at another one straight out of the autopilot. KMZ file generated for this one. This was, I think, pretty sure it was my, oops, there it is. Come hither. Nope, not the one I want. KMZ, I want this one. This was the KMZ for the simulated search survey, and this is what comes straight out of the autopilot. And again, in Google Map you can do all your nice little Google Map things, rotating it, all that good stuff. But watch what happens when I use Droneshare, the file generated by Droneshare. So if I go into Droneshare, let's do those two again. And for that mission, which was the horsing it around the field, I'll go ahead and download a KML file. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go back real quick on the plane wheel. I'm going to go to the survey one, and I'm going to download a KML file for that one. And now let's go look and see what those generate. So they're a little different. They basically do almost the same thing with Google Earth. Except they put in the markers and the names of the mode you were in. There's all of my mode changes when they happened. Here's, as I go in, you can, if I put on mode changes, you can see, I guess they're going to have to work on that one. That should only come up as you go into each one of them. But that pretty much illustrates what is now going on with the Droneshare on the file that it generates for Google Earth. And now of course in Google Earth you can rotate, zoom in, zoom out, you can do all that same stuff. I can go in also, I could take some of those out and see which ones, no actually you can't, I started to say I could take some of those out and you could see which one was for stabilize. They don't quite have that working yet. Let's do one more. This was another one on the survey mission I did. And you can see it now shows where I hit RTL on that first one because it scared the daylights out of me, and it came back Oops, actually I guess I popped it up in the air and flew it back to here. Oh no, I RTL'd there. Here I put it in stabilize to increase the altitude, and then I put it back in return to launch and let it land. If we rotate this, well, we could look and see where the second one, I went into auto for the second time, and it started for this waypoint but went down, and I popped it back up here. The long and the short of it is Droneshare built into 3D robotics autopilots is getting killer. No extra added hardware, no possibilities of GPS interference because you have a other product in line with your GPS signal. You can make it automatically upload to Droneshare. I haven't done that yet. I'm uploading them manually, but Droneshare is just getting killer. I hope that it's interesting to some of you. I know not all. Have a good one. Oops, I guess with all those fancy things, I forgot to talk about the normal things that it does. This is a map of my flights, but this, come on, this is my flight. This is all the flights by day that other people have. You got some people already flying today. How many flights do we already have today? We have 4 flights already uploaded from today, and you can go in and double click on their flights and do all the same things for their flights. You can analyze. Oops, have to have a data flash log for that, which I do upload. They might not have. Let's see if movie mode works for them. Yes, it seems to. I'm sure you can download the. Look at their perimeters. Let's see what they got in red. Don't want to beat on them. Oops. Throttle. Failsafe throttle value. That's actually set to the default, which is really low. I doubt they're using it. I'm not sure how that would work unless you're in an auto mode or something. Because if you drop the throttle all the way down to 910, you're going to shut off the engines. And what it's supposed to do is invoke a return to launch or land or other fail-safe. I would just do that with a switch on the radio. If the radio receiver is out in the platform, that's not going to do diddly anyway. You're going to have to go to your telemetry and click on return to launch or land to be able to save your vehicle if you have telemetry. Elsewise, it's pretty much gone. So some of this stuff has to be taken with a grain of salt, but that is the default value. Not sure why they're making that one red, but they are. So you can look at all these parameters of another person's flight. Analysis doesn't work unless perhaps they uploaded a value, but this is just really wonderful to look at the flights of other people on a daily basis. Oops, see, there's one of mine. Vernon in Asheville. And the overall map, if you zoom out, shows where all the flights have taken place. Farther out you zoom, the more you see the international flights where they've taken place. Boy, nobody in Brazil is, or well, Australia is doing one. Looks like nobody in Brazil flies. Got one in Africa, or they're not using this particular software. And you can click on one of these and it'll tell you where it took place. And that's just a general overview of Droneshare. Getting more and more killer by the day. I just love it. I'm going to set mine very soon to auto upload mine, where I don't have to go in and manually upload them. Better than anything else I have seen. Getting better. I had a password login problem and I emailed them 3 or 4 days ago. Got an email back from 3DR that they had found a glitch in their software and had fixed that problem. So they're constantly working on this right now, and it's just really growing and getting better every day. I can't express enough how much that 3DR is the leader in autopilot systems on the planet in so many ways. Now have a good one.